that it is a product. So I went back to the office and gave my notice the next day, and then started DHL 28 days later. I had $30,000 and 2 customers. So that's how I started. The agreement I had with DHL was Hong Kong would own and operate everything outside of the United States. And that's for tax and regulatory systems reasons, because at that time they have something called the CAB, the Civil Aeronautic Board in the United States, and they were very, very bureaucratic. And you can't run you cannot really run a global business with that kind of regulation. So United States and Hong Kong became mutual exclusive agents. That means everything we sent to them, they would deliver for us, and everything they sent to us, we would deliver for them. We don't handle any other customer. And DHL International remained a Hong Kong company until 1991. Then we had to move it to Bermuda because Japan Airlines and Lufthansa bought into us, and they were worried about 1997. So we moved to Bermuda. But a lot of people didn't know that DHL was a Hong Kong company for 19 years, Hong Kong-based company. The first 3 months, no car, no cross-harbor tunnel, no sales team, no operations team, 1 chief, and 1 Girl Friday. Now this is 1972. And if I started today, I wouldn't even hire the Girl Friday because I can have the telephone. Those times you have to have somebody mending the phone in an office. So I had 2. This is what I teach at the Hong Kong University Entrepreneurship. You have, if you start your own business, you have to be very lean and very mean. Don't waste money. So every day I go to the office, I look at the incoming telex, I collect material from the 2 customers, I went to the airport by riding the minibus to the Kowloon ferry, the North Point ferry, get onto the ferry, get off the ferry on the other side, and then took another minibus to the airport. I shipped the outbound material, sometimes 20 kilos, sometimes 10 kilos, and then I would have lunch, and then I would receive the inbound material, and then carry it back to Central, and then deliver it. And then after that, I would go on sales call. There's 2 side stories to this. Number 1, I was dating 2 ladies at the time. One was from Central, the other one was from the airport. Right? And the Central lady, girl, looking at me, this guy carrying dirty bags. The courier bags are really dirty, some of them. And then pretty much she dumped me. So I eventually married the one at the airport. So the other lady, I don't know, she must be kicking herself now. I didn't have enough money, so I had to work at night. And the one skill I had was with language. So a friend of mine was doing the Golden Harvest movies, and so they needed somebody who write the dubbing script. They would let you look at the movie and then give you a script in Chinese. Then I have to spend about 30-40 hours to translate it into English. And then I have to sit with the dubbing team during the night when they're dubbing it into English. So if you're watching Enter the Dragon, one arm swordsman, all the Bruce Lee movie, if you find those grammar were incorrect and bad English, it's my work. That went on for only 13 months. It wasn't all smooth sailing. I was arrested for infringing on the postal monopoly on June 16, 1973. I started the company in 1972, right? So within 13 months, I was arrested. It could be devastating, but when you have nothing to lose, And a lot of people still ask me, you had a good job. You know. And what happened? I say, I don't know. But my passion was, I was doing something right for the community. Because the banks were relying on us, the shipping company. I know if we go out of business, the shipping companies will be in a chaos. Because ship then, it used to take the ship, before we start, they used to take the ship about 13 days to go from here to Seattle. And then within that 1 year, they launched the SL7 in Sealand. It was doing 35 knots. And it was only taking 5 days from here to Seattle. And there's no way they could get the import documents to Seattle in time, because the Hong Kong factories don't know how much they put into a container until they count what's left after the container's gone. So they would find one key component and keep track of that component. Whatever is left after the ship or the container left, they count it and say, oh, we have 13,000, right, before we assembled. And then now we have 7 left. So they know that they have shipped 23,000. Now, I knew that there is a postal monopoly, but I consider DHL was not shipping letters, because we were shipping documents, cancel checks. You banks call that cash letters. It was called a letter, but actually they were simply checks. It's not until the post office and the police officer showed me the definition of a letter, then I knew I was in trouble. It says, a letter includes any communication from a person or body of persons to another person or body of persons on any material in any language or signs produced on such material so sent. Well, if you look at that, everything from a menu to a tombstone can be a letter. So I was arrested, I was booked, I was asked for bail for $500, not 50, $500, and I didn't have the $500, and so and nobody in the office had $500, and then the police officer was very sympathetic. He said, well, you're not going to run away. So I didn't have to put out bail. But within the next week, I knew there were all kinds of people using using air freight forwarders to send the documents. So I went to all of them, all the shipping lines, all the air freight forwarders, all the airlines, and I start shipping newspaper, declaring them as documents. So I have a whole pile of evidence that everybody is doing it. So the Hong Kong government was very good. They're very gentlemanly. So we had come to a gentleman agreement that they would let us operate until the court rules whether we were legal or not. So we continue operating. So during the court case, our lawyer now is Justice Henry Litton, and he argued that it's really unreasonable law. Because according to that definition, every time an aircraft lands in Kai Tak, it is breaching the postal monopoly. Because on the side of the aircraft, it says Japan Airlines, right? That's a message. It's on any material. It's sent from the director of Japan Airlines. More ridiculous, it to anybody who happened to be looking at the aircraft, because that's the receiver of the message. Of course, that